Hi Virgo, welcome to your December 2018 love reading. I'm Raina, and I was hopping along here and all of a sudden they said that they couldn't record anymore, so back to the drawing board. So this is my typical Morgan Greer set of cards. I am going to be picking a Whispers of Love Oracle card after this main portion of the reading. The heart of the matter is the Hangman. So this is a card of being in suspension. This could be you're playing the waiting game about someone. Maybe there's somebody that you like, but you're waiting for them to ask you out. Maybe you're waiting for somebody to come back from the military, to come back from an assignment overseas, some type of job. To leave their spouse, who knows. But it's like, I was going to say your hands are tied, but it could be that you are resigned to it, that you accept it, and that you have surrendered to the situation. And even if you're single, and maybe before you had the sense of urgency, you're kind of allowing the universe to take its course. Because at the foundation, we have the Queen of Pentacles. This could be somebody who's ready to nest. And, you know, when we talk about queens, I typically think of females. But the queen is the mother. So you may want to become a mother and you want to settle down. And maybe a person you're with is not ready to do so. And they're kind of leery and they're kind of dragging their feet, and you're waiting and you're waiting. And maybe you have kind of stop pushing it, but you're still hoping and waiting for things to change. I did pick this card as the challenge card, the Temperance card, which is associated with Sagittarius. And my partner and I are both Sagittarians, and he was noting how many friends he has that are Virgos. Virgo and Sagittarius are mutable signs, and they square one another. And the funny thing about it is that there's always that attraction, because you're going to have certain things in common with Sagittarians, but there's going to always be that like irritation, that friction. I noticed that. And you will also have this Virgo with Geminis. So you may be attracted to them, but there's something that gets under your skin about them as well. And same that they feel towards you. And but anyway, so there could be somebody of that sign who is, you know, the typical Sagittarian finds it hard to commit. They're afraid of losing their freedom. And the Temperance card can also be talking about maybe a drinking problem. Maybe this person has something, if it's not a drinking problem, some other kind of an addiction that is taking grip over their life, and you're waiting for them to get over this problem. But because this is the foundation card, the Queen of Pentacles, there's a strong sense of home. And I would even say family, because the Queen represents the mother. So you may be very protective over your assets and your family, your children, because of this person. If you're maybe married to this person or living with this person, or you share children together, because you really think that it might take a toll on them, this person's behavior. So that might be what is kind of keeping you in suspension, if maybe you are separated from him or her, and you are maybe getting marriage counseling or going to Al-Anon and trying to find out like how to best cope with this. The higher message is the Four of Pentacles, and this kind of like almost reiterates what I was saying about the Queen of Pentacles. This is a card of keeping your hands on your money in a very, you know, protective manner. Maybe that person has a gambling problem, or a spending problem, a drug problem that, you know, as opposed to alcohol, a drug problem is significant because of the amount of money that is spent. It might be more than if they had just a problem with alcohol. So the thing is that you may have to rein in your, not rein in your spending, but you may have to really keep a close eye on your money and, you know, have this protective stance. And, yeah, so something may be going on with that. This is on the spiritual level, though, too. So if for some reason, like maybe the Hangman is about a Pisces individual and things like that, and you'd like to be married to that person, and something along those lines, the Four of Pentacles that could be you being too materialistic, and maybe you're not seeing this person's true worth because you're just looking at it if you make more money than they do. Let's say you're a woman and it's a man and he makes less money than you, and you somehow think that that's not how it's supposed to be, and you're not seeing all of the wonderful qualities that he has. That could be what the Four of Pentacles. This particular position is a spiritual message, so it's not necessarily something practical. It's just looking at it from a philosophical perspective. On a more practical level, I got a reversed card, and I read reversed cards. It's kind of a rarity these days for me to get reversed cards, but I got the World in reverse. Now, this is the last card of the Major Arcana, so getting that in the reverse position could mean that something perhaps that you have wanted to have a closure on is not happening. So going back to that first thing I said, maybe you're waiting for somebody to end a marriage and it's not happening. Maybe they're stringing you along. Maybe they're telling you that they're going to do something that they're not really going to do, or they're mischaracterizing what's really happening in the relationship to kind of keep you strung along there. The World in reverse is somehow you're unable to put the past behind you in some way. Now, this could also be in terms of travel. I mean, it could be something to do with travel. So maybe, perhaps, like, let's say you have a partner who is overseas for some capacity, through the military or through work. Maybe their travel plans will fall through. Remember, December is a holiday month for a lot of people. So that might be the time when somebody in the military goes on leave, or somebody in the work situation who's working far away from home. Their company may let them come home for a couple of weeks. And yet something may happen where that doesn't occur, and you've been waiting to see them. Now, in December, for the first week, we're still in a Mercury retrograde, and this is definitely associated with travel plans going awry. So perhaps that's why I got that card. I don't know. What is coming in is represented by the Nine of Pentacles. Sometimes the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles seem like interchangeable cards to me. It's a card of financial self-reliance. And, you know, just prosperity in general. But in terms of relationships, the number 9 has, to me, a number of solitude associated to it in a way, where the person is, or even just the self is connected to this. It's kind of like an expression of the person's, you know, independence, perhaps. I don't know. Maybe that's not a correct. Yeah, but it is. I mean, it's that you don't need anybody to financially support you. I mean, you have these wonderful money cards. You know, the Four of Pentacles is about financial security. The Queen of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles. You are of Pentacles being an earth sign. So why are you getting all these cards, Virgo? Well, maybe the universe is telling you that, you know, especially if you're a woman, because most of my viewers are, about 80%, you are somebody who may be thinking about being in a relationship with someone, but you need to realize that you can nourish yourself. You're not relying on somebody else to do that for you. Now, I realize that it's not all about money, obviously, especially nowadays. Women tend to be financially independent anyway. But whether you're a man or a woman, relationships, sometimes people get very needy, where they think that they can only feel validated if somebody else is telling them that they're desirable. And maybe this is about investing in yourself. If we look at money as an investment, maybe it's time with the Nine of Pentacles to start. If you're like waiting for somebody, maybe, like I said, there's some reason that you're separated. Maybe in the meantime, you can explore things that really bring you joy, that give you a sense of purpose, outside of work even. And that will make the time go by faster if you are waiting. And if you're single and you kind of have left it up to the universe in terms of finding somebody else, same thing applies. You know, follow your bliss, and you may be surprised that when you let go of that resistance, which is kind of what the Hangman is letting go of that resistance to need to control situation. That's what surrender is. That love comes to you when you least expect it. And the outcome, the Three of Cups, this kind of goes along with that. Socializing, being with friends, and maybe like checking back with people that you've neglected because of your relationship, because you're so obsessed with it. But also, this is a lighthearted card. Again, this is holiday season for a lot of people. So it's all about touching base with people, letting your hair down, not, you know, don't worry, be happy. I think that's what I'm going to call this one, because I think that it's so true. And it kind of goes along with the Hangman of just kind of like going with the flow. And let's pick this Whispers of Love card. Okay. I've been getting different cards for every reading, which is such a refreshing change of pace. Somebody told me that, who I guess picks cards themselves, that you can get stuck with some of these decks, and you pick and the energy gets stuck, and you pick the same card over and over again. That makes perfect sense to me, because that has happened to me. This is the back of the deck. So that's kind of cute, right? A harp, a built-in harp, and an angel. And so this was number 20, and it says, I love you. These are very important words. Now, it's funny because you could say them to yourself, right? You're looking, you know, how many people are looking for somebody to say that to them? But can you say that to yourself? Can you say I love you to yourself? That's the real challenge. Okay, Virgo, I hope that you enjoyed this. And if you'd like a personal reading, with my love readings, I'm doing a lot of astrology related stuff. I'm trying to think of a word. I do a tarot spread too, but it's kind of a secondary thing. It's really, I really love to look at the chart and see what makes people tick in terms of their perceptions when it relates to love, because sometimes these patterns are so deeply ingrained that it becomes second nature. And sometimes all it takes is somebody who doesn't know you to say, hey, you know, are you doing this and this? And you're like, wow, you know. And yeah, so the link to my website is below. I hope that you have a blessed December. Bye.